Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be unpacking a seriously fascinating psychological and spiritual concept straight from the Qur'an today, Sakina. Now, you'll often see it translated simply as tranquility or inner peace, but honestly, that barely scratches the surface, because as you'll see, this isn't just some fleeting, feel-good emotion. It's a remarkably powerful anchor.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because I really want to challenge a pretty common illusion we all kind of fall for. When we think of serenity today, we picture, a quiet room, a relaxing beach vacation, or maybe just completely avoiding our problems. We tend to equate peace with total inactivity. But the source material we're exploring today asks us to consider something totally different. What if true peace isn't the absence of hardship, but the presence of calm right smack in the middle of it?
So here's our roadmap for today. First, peace in the storm. Second, the roots of tranquility. Third, Sakina in historical crises. Fourth, the chain of virtues. And finally, finding calm today.
All right, Section 1, Peace in the Storm, Rethinking Tranquility. We really have to set up a fundamental paradox here to get started.
See, our modern secular view of peace usually means escaping danger and seeking out inactivity, basically running away from the problem. But Quranic Sakina is entirely different. It's defined by the presence of Allah directly within the hardship. It's about maintaining absolute calm under immense pressure. It's active courage. It's not about escaping the storm at all. It's about how you stand firm while the storm is raging around you.
Moving on to Section 2, The Roots of Tranquility, the Soul's Homecoming.
To truly wrap our heads around Sakina, we have to look at the linguistic roots. Understanding the original Arabic just completely changes the game here. Sakina is a divinely bestowed tranquility that settles the believer's heart, enabling steadfastness, courage, and trust during a crisis. The absolutely crucial phrase here is divinely bestowed. This isn't just a good mood you happen to wake up with. It's literally a direct gift sent down by Allah, entering the heart precisely when the situation dictates you should be feeling absolute panic or despair.
Now, what's really interesting is how the words interlink. The word itself comes from the Arabic root skn, which means to become still, to settle, or to come to rest. Think about the other words that share this exact same root. Sakan means a dwelling or a home. Muskin is a place of residence. Sukun is stillness or rest. It's pretty amazing, right? They all revolve around the concept of a home. And a home isn't just a physical building. It's the place where you finally, truly find rest.
So basically, Sakina is the soul's homecoming. It's a settled heart finding its ultimate rest in Allah. True rest is entirely internal. It really doesn't matter what kind of chaos is happening outside the walls. Inside, the soul is totally at home.
Section 3. Sakina in historical crises, true calm under pressure.
Let's look at some really high-stakes historical case studies, because these prove this concept was forged in the fires of intense danger. Our first example takes us to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Emotions among the believers were running incredibly high. They were facing what looked like a really humiliating compromise, yet it ultimately became one of Islam's greatest victories. The Quran in chapter 48, verse 4 says, "He is the one who sent down Sakina into the hearts of the believers so that they would increase in faith along with their faith." Notice that Sakina didn't magically remove the intense uncertainty of their situation. Instead, it enabled them to remain steadfastly faithful despite it.
During that exact same tense standoff, another verse mentions Allah sending down Sakina upon His messenger and the believers. This divine intervention literally overcomes anger. It overcomes pride and tribal passion, allowing clear wisdom to completely override the high-running human emotions that were just threatening to boil over. It's like an override switch for raw panic.
Now pivot with me for a second to a literal life-or-death scenario. The Prophet and his companion were hiding in a cave during the Hijrah, completely surrounded by assassins trying to end their lives. I mean, you cannot get more dangerous than this. Yet, chapter 9, verse 40 records the Prophet saying, "Do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us." Then, the verse tells us, Allah sent down His Sakina upon him.
Let's see how this builds, because the order of events here is incredibly revealing. Step 1 is just the natural human response, overwhelming fear. But step 2 is the conscious reminder of Allah's presence. Indeed, Allah is with us. That active reminder triggers step 3, the descent of Sakina into the heart. And finally, step 4, eventual deliverance. It proves this undeniable cause and effect, where spiritual grounding directly leads to physical salvation.
Ultimately, Sakina is the essential bridge between anxiety and action. It is definitely not passivity. The individuals who experienced Sakina didn't just sit back and do nothing. They continued striving, they made unbelievably difficult decisions, they endured persecution, and they remained completely courageous. Sakina empowered them to act right when panic would have normally frozen them in their tracks.
All right, Section 4, the chain of virtues, a spiritual ecosystem.
Let's look at the broader theological framework here and see exactly where Sakina fits in, because it doesn't exist in a vacuum. There's this beautiful, logical progression. It starts with tawakkul, or trust in Allah, which opens a heart. Then iman, faith, anchors it. Faith opens the heart to receive Sakina, and Sakina in turn strengthens faith during trials. Next comes our concept, Sakina, settling the heart. Then sabr, patient perseverance, sustains that feeling over time. And finally, salam, peace, becomes its outward expression. Sakina is that absolutely critical inner stillness from which outward peace and security eventually grow.
Now, it's absolutely crucial we understand what Sakina is not. It's not just blind optimism. Actually, scratch that. It's not optimism at all. And it's definitely not a delusional denial of danger, or just temporarily kicking back and relaxing. Someone with Sakina fully recognizes they are in extreme danger. They aren't delusional. But the key difference is that fear no longer controls their actions. They maintain calm under pressure, and they just keep striving.
Section 5, finding calm today, anchoring the modern heart.
We really need to take these 7th century historical lessons and apply them to our modern lives, lives that relentlessly reward urgency, distraction, and just constant noise. The Qur'an offers a radically different vision for success than our loud, busy world does. It tells us that the strongest person is actually not the loudest or the busiest one in the room. The strongest person is the one whose heart is settled by Allah. It is a quiet, steady, divine confidence.
So what does this actually look like for us on a random Tuesday afternoon? Well, real-world Sakina today is a parent remaining gentle when their child is in a total crisis. It's a leader staying completely just and fair when they're under immense professional pressure. It's a believer remaining fiercely hopeful in the middle of severe financial or health hardships. And it's an individual resisting the urge to panic in our anxious 24-hour news cycle world.
And that brings us to this absolutely vital takeaway. Sakina is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing Allah is present, even when the final outcome of your situation is totally unknown. It is so much less about changing the storm around you and infinitely more about transforming the heart that has to walk right through it.
Before we wrap up, let's mentally anchor this core concept one last time. Sakina is a divinely bestowed tranquility settling the heart, enabling faith, courage, wisdom, and steadfastness in the midst of life's greatest trials. It's a gift. It is literally a home for your soul right in the middle of chaos.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. How will you anchor your own heart in today's relentless world? When the storm hits, and it will, are you going to look for an escape route, or will you seek that divine tranquility that allows you to stand firm? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Keep learning, keep seeking that inner stillness, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.